All right, what's up, my brothers? We got a special request here from a guy that's been dating his girlfriend for 2 years, 7 months, and he has a timeline ultimated for marriage. He's looking for some advice, perspective, and feedback. I'll read it for you to break it down. He says, my girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years, 7 months. She has 3 kids from 2 different men. Normally, I would just say, stop there, don't do it, bro. But he's already involved, and the story gets more complicated and worse as we go. These 3 kids from 2 different men are 11, 8, and 6 years old. Her first marriage when she was very young lasted 2 years. I believe infidelity entered this relationship. Her second, no marriage, she has 2 kids with, which was for 7 years. This was a rebound accidental pregnancy, he puts in quotes. Her and I dated in high school 15 years ago and reconnected when her relationship with her most recent partner, quote unquote, I hate that word, it's either boyfriend or girlfriend if you know what I'm saying, when her most recent partner fell apart. Again, he puts in quotes after that, due to infidelity with a question mark, as if he knows or doesn't know. She has a stable career as a nurse. I supported her through her last year of nursing school, and we have her 2 younger kids Monday to Friday during school weeks, and her oldest every other weekend. I do not support her financially aside from splitting rent, groceries, and utilities. He says this is not a lock me down for money situation. As I stated, if we're not engaged by the 3-year anniversary, she says it's over. This is causing a great deal of anxiety for me. I respect her boundary and do not think that there should be a timeline on love. I think we have a solid relationship and are good partners, again, quote unquote. However, we do not share many hobbies. Most of our plans revolve around kids, and in brackets he puts respectably so. When we do not have the kids, she's working, schedules her 3 times 12 shifts around the kids, though I still watch and bring them to school at least once a week and have been for the past 2 years. So this guy is also the driver for this entire relationship too. It seems like he's driving the kids around while she's going to work, and then they're spending time together as parents with the kids, which is very bizarre, but let's keep going. He says the relationship moved fast. Yeah, no kidding. I've said this before many times. Single moms aren't usually looking for love, they're looking for help, and you're going to see this a little bit more in this. When her and her ex broke up, she moved into an apartment she couldn't afford. We have been dating since November, and I moved in February. Very quick. I moved in with her just after 3 months of dating. I had not seen or talked to her for 11 years. He goes, I met the kids right away, and I've been involved in their lives for over 2 years now. I became an instant stepdad figure, though both dads are also involved and good dads. Interesting that she would leave, quote unquote, good dads, right? More recently, she put a timeline on a proposal. Okay, we've already stated this, stating that if I didn't know by 3 years if I wanted to be with her and her family, she's like, you're playing somebody else's saved game when you sign up, become a stepdad, that the relationship would end. He says, I'm 32, she's 31. I respect her boundary and the timeline she's put on this relationship. However, I do not think I am ready to marry. I'm not saying I'll never be ready, but this is a complex situation with multiple parties involved. I'm also unsure if I want biological children of my own, though she has offered to give me a child before she turns 35. Part of my concern is I have never had the time to truly date, to get to know her again. I stepped in a position to help her afford rent and ended up jumping directly into the role of a stepdad. Time has flown. We haven't had much time to focus on growth and development of the relationship between us because life is so busy. Her mom died 6 months into us dating and I supported her. I broke my leg a year and a half into us dating and she supported me. We make a good team. However, it seems she struggles to make time for just us. And when we do have a little time for just us, it's always about the kids. I do a lot for her. She does some for me. We strike a good balance. I don't see why marriage is necessary, but I respect her boundaries. I know many will say or get off the pot, but I do think a situation this complex needs to be controlled, or shouldn't need to be controlled, with an ultimatum. Advice, stories, and so on and so forth is what he's looking for. Next steps, what do I do? Well, I have some advice and I have some feedback. First of all, I would have stopped. Most logical guys that I talk to or counsel, had they asked me, hey, I'm dating a single mom with 3 kids from 2 different fathers, I would have been like, you can stop there. End it. Don't bother asking me whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, moving in, getting married, dating her, taking her seriously, getting into a relationship, whatever it happens to be. You are just going to complicate your life unnecessarily and then try to justify why it is that you're doing that. It is a waste of your time in most cases. Now, that being said, dude's already in a long-term relationship. They're already living together. Isn't it interesting that he knew her in high school but didn't date her in high school, and she ended up getting knocked up by a guy in her early 20s who was abusive, is usually what they say, or cheated on her. And then the next guy she has a couple more kids with, also not the right guy, cheated on her, but he manages to slip in there that both of the fathers of these children seem to be good fathers. They're good enough to be fathers, or, they're good men, they're probably good at being a man, but for whatever reason, she left them. And that really speaks volumes about her as a woman, as a person, that she can't keep a guy around. She's been unable to successfully keep two men around. They've both left, or she's asked them to move on or move out, or whatever the case may be. Either way, she's been unsuccessful in locking down a guy, and now she's using ultimatums to try to lock down this new guy, who he didn't talk about his financial situation, but I suspect because he's child-free, he doesn't mention children, but because he's child-free and she's offering to give him a child before she's 35, he's probably got something in the way of financial security. Like I said early on, most single moms, when you meet them on dating apps or you run into them later on down the road, they're not genuinely looking for love. They're not looking for a relationship. They're mostly looking for help, which is exactly what this guy got himself into. Moved into her house, helps pay for stuff, shuttles the kids around, and when they have time together, she has it conveniently scheduled so that their time together to be a quote-unquote couple, to spend time for us, as he put it, always has the kids around. It's not about romance for her. It's not about adding some value to this guy's life, being a compliment to it, being useful or any of those things. It's like, now that you've moved in and you're shuttling the kids around and blah, 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 I need a ring and we need to get married, otherwise you need to get the fuck out of here. And it's like, man, that just reeks from every angle. I've seen this movie 100 times and it always ends the same way. The guy gets himself locked into a situation that's almost of hopelessness, doesn't know what to do with himself, sees his wealth being robbed from him, his happiness and his joy eroded and also being robbed from him, and the priority is put on other men's children. He's being asked to sacrifice his life, his wealth, and his personal interests. They don't have a lot in the way of common hobbies, he says, to placate her, to give her what she wants, to make her happy, to do things for and with her children. What's in it for you as a guy raising another man's children? You're basically a cuckold. I've said this many times before. Men, if you find yourself in a position where you're dating a single mom and she's potentially trying to lock you into the stepdad role, you're a cuck. You're raising the offspring of other men. There's nothing in it for you. They don't have your last name. They don't have your DNA. At some point, they're going to throw some BS line to you. You, I don't need to listen to you, you're not my father, or some version of that. It always inevitably comes for just about every guy. There's no benefit to it. And I don't understand why guys would want to sign up for their own cuckoldry. Like, you're volunteering to spend your wealth, this nest egg that you create, on somebody else's kids. Why? What is the benefit? So that you get some sex with her from time to time? Like, can somebody explain to me what the benefit is? Because I've seen versions of this many times over the years. I've done coaching consult with guys, and I've never seen the benefit. I've never seen the upside. I've never seen the upshot of any of this when it comes to what's in it for the guy. And if there's nothing in it for you guys, then why are you doing things like this? Why? Is it because you're not good looking enough to get a woman without kids? Is it because you're too overweight to get a woman without kids? Usually a chick with kids, two different kids from two different fathers, has a very low sexual marketplace value. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. It is what it is. If she was an 8 in high school with 2 kids in tow from 2 different fathers at 31, working as a nurse, blaming the guys for cheating on her, which is so bizarre because nurses are known, they're notorious for being unfaithful to the men that they're with. You guys know what I'm talking about. Leave a comment below. I always see those comments. I dated a nurse. This is what happened when I got involved with a nurse. My sister's a nurse. Leave those stories so this guy can hopefully see it. But what's the benefit? All you're doing is you're basically raising this dude's kids, and she didn't pick you in high school. She picked other guys. And now all of a sudden she's interested in you. Now that you're 31 and you got your money squared away and you got a good job and you're willing to drive her kids around to and from school, to shuttle them from extracurriculars, from soccer or hockey or swim lessons or whatever. And then when you've got time together with her, you don't have time together with her, it's her and her kids. So again, I fail to see any benefit to this. This is not a question of how do I make this work. This should be more of a question of how do I get out of this and not lose the farm as I get out of it. I can't tell you how many guys that I've talked to over the years that got involved with single moms, and they dated them or they lived with them or they married them over a prolonged enough period of time that to the government it looked like marriage. And then they part ways, and then she tries to pin child support on the guy that's not even the father of the kids. And more often than not, the family courts award it to the mother, and they extract child support from a man that's not even the father of those children, because for 4 years they were married and he behaved like the father of the children, shuttling them around, paying for extracurricular activities, taking them on vacations, showing up for birthdays, flying them off to the Mediterranean for a summer vacation, blah, 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 and all this sort of stuff. If you behave and act like the children's father long enough, you will be compelled by family courts, in most cases, to support children that aren't even yours. What is the bloody point? Guys, wake up. Stop doing this dumb stuff and smarten up. Now, that being said, that's my advice. This isn't a how do you fix it. This is a run, Forrest, run situation. Make an about face 180 degrees and run in that direction very quickly, and do not turn around. What is your advice for this guy? There's probably somebody out there that needs to see this video. Share it with them. Newer to the channel, subscribe. Pin in the top comment, bunch of useful links, including my School of Unplugging. It's only $49 a month. It's got tons of world-class information in there about everything you need to know, including vetting a woman for mother stock, so you don't have to sign up for your own cuckoldry like this guy did. Have an awesome day. Peace out, guys.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.